And welcome to another game I played on Ptcgo. For this match I'm going to be playing a Genesect Virizion with Lugia and of course Tropius for draw support. It looks like I'm favored to win this matchup. I did lose a coin toss, so I don't know if my opponent prefers to go second or first. And just to point out, they do have a female avatar, so I'm assuming my opponent is a female. So I'm not sure what she is playing since she did not mulligan, but she is wishing me luck, which is always appreciated here. Some sportsmanship. I'm going to start off with Tropius in the active spot and Genesect on the bench. My opponent starts off with a Mulga, so that's not too indicative of what, I don't know, what deck they're using. But they do attach a fire energy, so here right off the bat I'm thinking maybe Raybor, but they're going to end me into 3 lasers, which is not the ideal hand here. But I did manage to get an energy. And then I see an EV, so I'm thinking here this is probably Empoleon, Flareon, Leafeon, since that seems to be a popular deck structure right now. I'm going to Ultra Ball here for a Virizion, just as my opponent asked if this is Genesect Virizion, so I'm going to say yep. And here I'm going to ask if she's playing Empoleon, because that's what I suspect here. She says Drat. I don't think she wants to see Virizion here. So I'm going to play a Hypnotoxic Laser, and then I will return to fill my hand up back to size, since I did discard quite a few things with that Ultra Ball. Fortunately, I discarded 2 lasers. So my opponent now evolves their Eevee into a Flareon, and she has a poisoned Emolga in the active spot. So I don't know really what her move is here. She can't retreat since it's also asleep, but she attaches an energy onto Flareon, and she says, "You'll see," to what deck she was playing, and I say, "Cool, no, it's fine if she wants to not reveal, since it's probably a better strategy." But she'll use an escape rope here, and I'm going to send up a Virizion. She sends up Flareon, which is the only one she could have sent off, and that's a little bit scary. I do see a blend energy, and it's the kind that you would see with Empoleon, so that confirms my, or supports my hypothesis here. But I'm just more concerned about Flareon right now. And I see a Frozen City. So that, I don't know, that definitely doesn't scream Empoleon to me, since I don't see why you would play Frozen City with it. I attach a Grass Energy to Virizion, taking the damage to Frozen City. I will Escape Rope to send up Tropius, and then just return for an additional card. It was a Genesect, which won't be all that helpful here. Ideally, in this match, I want to get Lugia set up, assuming she doesn't play any other electric types here. But we do see an Ultra Ball. Maybe this will finally give away her strategy. And we see another Eevee, so definitely a Flareon type of deck, but I don't know what other supporting Pokemon she plays. And I'm just looking through her discard pile. Again, it's kind of hard to read what it is from just looking at the discard pile. So here, this video is sped up by 25%, just because we both kind of took quite a bit to go between turns, and here is one of them. So Genesect Virizion, I don't know, I think has kind of fallen out of favor. Some people prefer Genesect Mewtwo, but I am playing this guy at the request of a viewer, and I've been wanting to try it. It's just Genesect is really hard to pull, and trading for booster packs for Virizion is also quite costly. And here my opponent reveals a Zekrom. It's actually the full art holo foil, the gold Zekrom, if you will, which is really nice to look at, although from the bench you cannot tell what it is at all. It just looks like a orange piece of paper. So here I'm going to Ultra Ball for a Lugia. So now I am a little bit scared of Zekrom, but I will play that Lugia. I'm going to Chorus. I get another Tropius. I'm debating whether or not to play it, and here I do. I debated the Super Rod, and I don't play that. I'm just going to return, get no cards, and just do 10 damage. And here my opponent does concede that they do play Flareon, and I say nice Zekrom, because that is an amazing looking card, although it's probably Ptcgo doesn't do it justice. So my opponent is going to Chorus here for 8, and let's see, she puts down a Drifblim, So I think that's for the Plasma Pokemon I'm playing. It's a good counter to them. And another Eevee, if she can get the Drifblim out, it'll be able to attack me essentially free thanks to the amount of Plasma Pokemon I'll have out. So she retreats into Zekrom and is going to outrage me for double, I think 40, since I am weak to electric. Here I'm debating what to do. I have grass energy, so I will attach that to Genesect, I think, since I can avoid the extra damage. I actually attached a Team Plasma energy. I'm going to bring up Drifblim, use a Hypnotoxic Laser, and here just return for 10 and hope that that stays in the active spot. And I brought it up because it has a higher retreat cost, and hopefully it'll delay her from sending more Pokemon to the discard and potentially powering up Zekrom. So here we're kind of late into the game and none of us have taken prizes. That's sort of the downside of Genesect Virizion. It does take a while to power up, which is why Mewtwo is, I guess, a more viable option. My opponent is going to play a Shadow Triad to get back a Chorus. Here I am going to attach a Grass Energy to Genesect, and I'm essentially ready to start attacking with it, but I'm cautious because she can't get the return knockout, so I will just return again for 10. Ideally, I want to send Drifblim to the bench so I can knock it out with Genesect with the splash damage. My opponent then uses a Chorus, is going to use a Float Stone on Drifblim, and maybe retreat into Flareon or Zekrom for the knockout. Either of those two guys can do it, and she actually goes for Emolga. So here with an electric energy, which she just attached, she can knock me out. You don't really see Emolga knocking anything out all that often, but it happens here. And I'm going to send up Virizion just so I can use it to power up Lugia. So I'm afraid of that return knockout, so instead I'm deciding to start powering up Lugia. I can knock out the Emolga, which is a threat to my Lugia as well, and just use Emerald Slash to attach 2 grass energies onto Lugia and get it that much closer to attacking. So I send Emolga to the bench, to the discard, and I take my first prize, and now we are even. So here it's just going to be a fairly quick prize exchange, since we all have quite a bit of energy on board. So my opponent's going to promote Zekrom, attach another energy onto Flareon on their bench. It looks like all of her 3 Flareons that she has built up now have at least an energy attached to them. So here, my strategy is going to be to attack with Genesect or Lugia, depending on what she sends up. And here, my Virizion is more as a sacrifice here. As long as I can have it up there, I'll use it to attach energy. So here I get another grass energy, but I'm going to attach a plasma energy onto Lugia, put down another Virizion, and then just N, because my opponent has a huge hand. But first, I think I'm going to play the escape rope. I guess I want to see what she'll send up, and maybe I might start attacking with something else. So she sends up Drifblim, and here I'm going to send up Genesect, just because I can take a cheap knockout here. And I play that N. I will play Genesect, attack, and hit a Flareon on the bench, the one with no damage, since I can one-shot everything essentially at this point with my attackers. And I will take my second prize here. So here obviously my opponent will get the return knockout because Genesect is weak to fire, and she can revenge me here for quite a bit of damage. So I'm just waiting for the inevitable revenge. But first she plays a Superior Energy Retrieval. Not a card you see all that often and in this type of deck, and a Kecleon hits the bench. So she brings back a Lightning and a Fire Energy. Maybe she's trying to power up a Flareon, it looks like, on the bench. And here she hits me for the knockout, actually using her second attack instead of revenge, and she does 10 damage to herself. I'm going to send up Lugia, and she says, ha! And here I'm going to attach a Grass Energy and play a Team Plasma Ball to bring up, I think I want to bring up another Genesect, just in case. I need to use it. And we'll play a Chorus for 9. I'm lucky enough to get 2 Chorus machines here, so I can use them to power up Genesect and add another energy onto Lugia, although I may only have 1 plasma energy left in my deck, so I think I will go for the Lugia attachment instead. And I'm going to do just that. My opponent, I responded to her comment just saying fighting fire with grass, because it's not counter, it's kind of counterintuitive. And I do knock out her Flareon, and here I can take 2 prizes. So she needs to desperately do something here, or else I will take the win, since I'm fully powered up and I can take 2 prizes on anything she sends up. She sends up Flareon, but attaches to Zekrom instead of it, so it doesn't look like she'll be able to return the knockout. She plays a Juniper here, and unless she can escape rope or catch her around this, she won't be able to buy herself some time. She's going to Silver Bangle onto Zekrom, but she cannot switch into it. So here I'm just going to take the win, but first just say GG, and take the win with Plasma Gale, and I get to take an extra 2 prizes. She says Drat, and that's the end of it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoy your holiday break.